Okay, so we will begin our discussion. So while your friends are entering, so we don't want to wait too long. Okay, so we have studied last week chapter 4, pneumatic single actuator circuit. Okay, or we call this chapter as single actuator system. Okay, so before I start, I just want to check. Can you hear me? Boleh dengar? And can you see my slide? Anyone? Boleh dengar ke? Boleh tengok slide?
Boleh, sir.
Okay, I think last week kita dah cover half of the chapter in our synchronous class last Thursday. Okay, so I akan continue. So really this chapter is talking about how you can interpret a circuit. What are the things that you need to prepare before you construct a circuit? Okay, so boleh baca lah dekat sini. So we go to slide I stop. So we have seen about the methods of describing a sequence. So kita boleh gunakan 8 method yang dekat sini. This simple narrative. So normally apa yang kita akan gunakan on entering. Okay, so we normally will use A, simple narrative. We will use a positional sketch. We will use a function diagram and a displacement diagram and function chart. Selalunya kita akan gunakan yang ni lah. But we can ask you to do anything. And normally we won't ask on Boolean. So Boolean ni dia yes or no lah. Okay, so normally we won't ask this. But kita boleh tanya combination of other stuff. So we won't ask only simple narrative. Maybe we will give a sketch. We'll ask you to narrate. Bagi motion diagram, ask you to explain in a simple narrative. So simple narrative ni is not form. Yeah, I think some of your friend pun ada tanya saya itu. It's not in the point form, it must be in a paragraph. It's about narrative kan? Yes, so we don't give in a point form. I think we have explained about all this one by one. I can cover, so you can refer back to my video for better understanding. Okay, so motion diagram. Okay, then we saw the type of pneumatic circuit. So macam mana kita nak buat direct control. So direct control meaning you have the push button and its valve is not going through any other circuit ataupun valve before reaching the cylinder. Direct meaning you have something in between. Okay. So direct control of a single acting cylinder. So yeah. Tengok macam ni, so you tekan the push button, dia terus sambung dekat cylinder extend or retract. So that is what we call as direct control of single acting cylinder. Then kita tengok ada few example. So we gave a simple. So you press the push button, your cylinder extend and we clamp. When you release the push button, it will come back. Okay, so it's a simple system. What this system you can design it in a direct control or indirect control. So this is a direct control. You tekan push button, dia terus extend. So you release, tukar balik, and your cylinder will retract based on the spring dalam ni and also at the valve. 0Z dengan 0S ni is a safety button. So I encourage you to draw this. So it will be always connected. When there is an emergency, you press right to release. So they can disconnect the whole supply lah. Okay. Then we have learned about that in lab 2 about electropneumatic. I pun ada encourage you to keep this. Okay, so you try to disconnect the circuit by adding a normally electrical is normally open. So normally closed, sorry. In electric, it will be normally closed. Close meaning you have a close contact. Close contact macam COVID juga lah. Close contact means so you have a connection. But in electrical, it will be like that. So pneumatic normally close means no connection. With the electrical, normally close means ada connection. Okay, so you saw that. Then we learn about indirect control. The indirect control of a single acting cylinder, this like ada spring. So you are using 3/2 normally closed. Okay, so the same circuit how you can design. Tadi pun ada. So tadi you connect straight to the cylinder. Now you press here, it will send to intermediate valve ataupun directional control valve. Then the directional control valve will send a signal for it to extend. So in between ada satu component. So what is the advantage of having another component in between? Siapa boleh bagi tahu? I think last week I had bagi tahu. So if you listen carefully, maybe you can answer this. So what is the advantage of having another component? Okay, what's the advantage of having another controller in between?
So,
Yeah,
is it for the safety purpose?
safety purpose. So can be. I know, but I give another specific answer. So safety also can. So what is the function of directional control valve? So bayani adalah directional control valve. What is the function of directional control valve? Yeah. Siapa-siapa nak try?
Change fluid flow.
Change your fluid flow. Okay, can be. So that's the function of direction control valve. Tapi in indirect control, so the function why you need, I encourage you to have another directional control valve because one advantage adalah you can control a lot of stuff. So sebab dia macam satu manager lah, manager kan, manager cakap, okay you pergi sini, you pergi sana. So you can have macam tadi direct control you straight away connect to one cylinder. So kalau ada 10 cylinder, you kena ada 10 push button. So if you have this here, so you can mix and match lah. Maybe lesser valve tapi boleh control the same 10 cylinder. So it depends on you lah how you design the circuit. Kalau you pandai, you maybe boleh gunakan maybe 5 direction control valve control or lesser. So that's the advantage of it. Another thing, you boleh gunakan simple one in front. So you tekan dekat sini, we only send very less pressure untuk activate yang ni. So you tak perlu bagi a lot of pressure dekat sini lah. So when you press, you control the pressure. So maybe dekat sini you bagi 0.5 bar. Tapi yang valve ni dia akan supply more. So you can manage your compressed air better. So that's one advantage lah. So first advantage, you can add more component. You can use a directional control valve to control more component, more actuators. So meaning you can reduce the complexity of the circuit. Instead of you have 10 push button control 10 cylinders. Imagine the production line, you have thousands of cylinders. So what will happen to the technician? Cylinder tu nak extend, dia pergi tekan cylinder tu. Cylinder ni dah, so the whole day you need to press the cylinder and the push buttons. So it's not flexible. Maybe kita sekarang tak nampak sangat lah. Sebab kita just dalam contoh ada satu cylinder. But in actual real life, you'll have thousands of cylinder you need to control at one go. So it's better to have a directional control valve to help you manage. So you just design your circuit once, then it will start to control and manage your actuators. Okay, so that's the advantage lah. Okay, so this the same thing, tapi you gunakan cara indirect method. So you push button, yang ni sama. So you press the push button, it will send a signal to directional control valve, and directional control valve will send signal to your actuator for it to extend or retract. Okay, so earlier we saw single acting cylinder. So now we see double acting cylinder. Okay, so the acting cylinder also you can use direct and indirect. Direct, the only difference will be the choice of directional control valve. Untuk double acting cylinder, you use 5/2. Sebab you perlukan more port for it, one port to extend, one more port to retract. So you cannot use 3/2 direction control valve. Okay. Okay, so you see example. Here a double acting cylinder is activated when push button is operated. Upon release of the push button, the cylinder is to retract. The cylinder is small, requiring a small flow rate to operate the correct speed. So boleh tengok, so this is the direct method lah. Sama juga macam tadi. So just you change this to 5/2. So you press the push button, your cylinder will extend. You release, your cylinder will retract because dekat sini ada spring. Walaupun dekat sini tak ada spring. Okay, so you can use 5/2 or you can use 4/2. Ini ada 4 port lah. Ini 5 port. So normally direct method is easier to explain. So you tak perlu explain a lot of stuff. The indirect way of controlling the double acting cylinder, ini pun ada lah, same thing. Similar, yang ni stamping. Boleh tengok how to control using an indirect way. You press the push button, so your cylinder will extend. And dekat sini pun ada spring. You will go back to the default position and your cylinder will retract. Similar, dekat sini the difference is here you use 5/2, dekat sini 4/2 directional control. Okay, so indirect control of double acting cylinder. Yang ni kita gunakan kita panggil as memory valve. Quite popular question juga. Okay, so what is memory valve? So memory valve meaning your valve is having double piloted valve. Meaning both sides you receive signal, automatic signal. Tengoklah nanti. Okay, so you can see here how memory valve function. Okay, so the tengok yang ni dulu forward. So you have a double pilot operated. So meaning you kena bagi input either port 12 ataupun port 14. So meaning you don't have a spring kat belakang. We need to have a pneumatic input. Okay, so you want to extend the cylinder, you press forward. You ada dua push button. Okay, so you press this button, it will get send signal to port 14. To port 14. So dia akan tukar ke sebelah sini. Your cylinder can extend. Then your cylinder, even you release, your cylinder masih dalam extended position. So that's why we call it as a memory valve. You remember the operation lah. So your push button akan return back to this side. Tapi your cylinder, since you supply, it will be still in the extended position until you bagi input that return cylinder. Okay, so dekat sini, after it extend, you press the return button, and ni dia akan hantar supply to port 12. Okay, selalunya pilot operated sebelah kanan kita panggil as port 12, sebelah kiri as port 14. So this is by understanding lah. So normally if you write in your narrative port 12, the engineers automatically understand that you are using a double pilot operated valve. So 12 adalah port di sebelah kanan. It's on the right hand side. 14 is on the left hand side. Okay. So memory valve, the term comes by your cylinder still in the extended position ataupun retractor position depends until you give a input. Walaupun your push button go back to the original position. Okay, so faham yang ni? Memory valve? Ada soalan? Any questions so far? Just go through first. And move. Okay, so some of the example, selalunya dalam exam dia akan bagi example macam ni lah. So real life situation. Okay, so yang ni car park, so dia ada yang ni yang ni kita panggil barrier system. Halangan. Okay, so you don't want anyone to park illegally, so you are checking lah the cars entering and leaving the park. So yang ni you gunakan double acting cylinder. Ni. So yang apa barrier naik and turun controlled by a double acting cylinder. So yang attendant ni dia akan tekan button. So dia complain lah. So barrier ni dia naik terlalu cepat. Terlalu cepat. So takut akan ada kerosakan. So they are asking you to design a system to solve the problem. So you need to come up with a solution lah. Okay, so as I say, don't draw like this. So this is a bad practice. So you pun tak tahu nak tengok macam mana. Confused. Better to draw horizontal. Okay, so apa yang dibuat? So you add a restrictor to slow down the exhaust air. Exhaust air meaning the air going out. Apa yang dibuat? Ada so you have two part. One is entering the cylinder and one is leaving. So at the leaving part, you tambah any restrictor, itu kita panggil as restrictor. Dia akan perlahankan udara yang keluar. So your cylinder will extend slowly. So dia akan keluar slowly. Tadi dia complain cylinder you extend terlalu cepat. So if you add a restrictor, so the air that is going up will be slow. Slow. Okay, so always restrict the exhaust air coming from a cylinder, as this can make the piston move much more. So kalau you nak dia extend slowly, so you letak dekat sini. Kalau you nak dia retract slowly, you letak dekat sini. You can control lah. Your cylinder will have a more and retraction. Kita tengok yang ni. Here then you can see the example. So you boleh tengok lah all these example macam mana. They will give a situation, then they will ask you to come up with a solution. Okay, so this subject is a C6, C6 complexity subject. Sebab you ada design questions. So we will give a similar kind of situation. We will ask you to propose a solution. Okay. You kena bagi tahu lah macam mana. So we will give this narrative and also positional sketch. Then you need to come up with a solution. So that time you cannot go and design in fluting. Then you want to draw payah lah, because it will take a lot of time. So you need to know how to draw the symbols correctly. So the whatever selalunya I tengok pelajar lupa nak lukis compressor and also exhaust. Dia biar macam tu. So will minus mark lah. So each mistake you do, we will see whether the circuit will function or not. If the circuit we know it won't function, we will minus mark. We will see where you make mistake. We will minus mark. Kadang-kadang tak letak spring, minus mark. So you need to be familiar with whatever things that you are drawing. Jangan main hantam je, ambil dari internet, ambil dari kawan. Lalunya yang akan kena kes yang tiru kawan. Tiru kawan tu, kawan maybe understood and they draw correctly. You when copy, you overlook. So you won't learn lah. You won't learn the skill. At the end, you are the one who is going to lose. Alright. Okay. So you boleh tengok. Ini ada casting ladder. So you manual general meaning operator lah. Someone to control. So dia cakap the raising and lowering speed is separately adjustable. Meaning you ada some controller to control your cylinder extend or retract. So you can come up with a solution. Sebab tu dekat sini dia ada restrictor. Dia letak restrictor you know you have a tuner. Okay, so you ada macam satu switch yang you boleh macam control. So sebab itu dekat sini ditulis 23%, dekat sini 50%. So meaning you can control the speed for extension or retraction. You letak sebelah sini. So depends on the arrow jugalah. Kita tengok arrow dia ala kat mana. So like this, coming this way, it will be stop. So it will go this way. So yang ni dia terbalik compared to last time. So your input is control. Sorry, your input is not control. Then, so clear. Okay, so the arrow is downward. So downward meaning, so the air will enter and it will go this part and it will go in. Okay, so it will go in and control the extension sebelah sini. Okay, retraction sebelah sini. So you can control based on the percentage. Then this is an end valve. So end valve, example you boleh baca lah. So I think I'm not going through. Okay, end valve, you ada end lah. And I think you're familiar with this. But this is based on the roller. So depends on your situation, you need to selalunya all these guard semua ni dia akan check your position. So I baca tengok. Okay, a piston rod of a cylinder 1A is advanced only if the workpiece is inserted in the workpiece retainer, a guard has been lowered and the operator press the push button. Maksudnya dekat sini ada 3 condition. The workpiece retainer, okay, dekat sini lah. So maksudnya you put a workpiece, you ada satu sensor dekat sini to detect the workpiece. It can be either sensor yang can detect the presence ke ataupun can detect the weight, but dia akan detect lah. Meaning dekat sini apa yang detect is a roller. It cannot be a push button. It has to be a roller. So meaning you letak any weight, roller tu macam kena. Then so when you have this kind of condition, you need to put a roller. Okay. So this the first condition. The card has been lowered. Meaning yang besi ni diturunkan ke bawah. The meaning besi ni turun, so the roller will touch. So dekat sini pun ada satu roller. Then dekat sini operator press the push button valve. Meaning you have 2 rollers input and 1 push button condition to be met before so dekat ni extend only. Kalau only if meaning all the condition. Kalau dia letak either or meaning is either one. Okay, so upon release the push button or if the guard is no longer in its position, the cylinder one is to retract. Untuk dia cut the circuit or for it to retract, dia ada dua condition. So meaning to extend ada 3 condition, to retract ada 2 condition. The push button or if the guard is no longer in the lower position. Meaning roller of the guard is disconnected or the push button is released. So you need to come up with the solution. Okay, so lukis benda ni dulu. Then only you start your circuit. You have a cylinder. Tengok. 1S1, 1S2. You endkan dulu. You cannot put 3. So cuma ada 2 port. So you need to cascade. Ini dia hantar signal dekat sini. One more. So you can control lah 3 input. So only if all 3 ada, yang ni dia macam super AND gate lah. Atau AND valve. Terus boleh control 3. Because you have 2 AND valve inside. Then only dia akan send signal. Dia akan dia return if one of it disconnected. Kalau yang ni disconnected, either one signal, so yang ni pun particularly tak ada signal. Okay, press screen, back to the default, and change the voltage. Okay, so yang ni off, either one. straight. One pun macam ni, one yang kiri dekat sini. Pun kan output value. Either one is active, or either one on. Ni dia kena active. So dia extend, dia automatically on, dia on. So that's all work. This is a combination for edge folding. Kita pull the sini lah and push. Kita boleh tengok seperti ya. Kita buat seperti ini. Quick exhaust, dia opposite of twisted. Dia akan bagi more power for the cylinder to rapid forward. Dia dah bagi tahu. Kalau you letak quick exhaust dekat sini, your extension will be fast. Extension will be slow. Dia ada restrictor dekat sini. So varied method of checking and position of a cylinder. Yang ni I think you dah biasa lah. Ada roller. Kalau you gunakan distance rule, you will use a roller at the end position. Then you have a idle return. Idle return roller dia ada function dia sendiri. Dia hanya boleh detect either one. Macam roller, dia extend, dia kena dekat cylinder dekat roller, dia automatically on. Dia idle roller, dia cuma boleh detect either forward or return. So you can use the return roller untuk eliminate overlap. Overlap meaning tadi kita tengok ada port 14 dengan port 12. Dua-dua kalau ada input, so that is what we call as signal overlap. So your valve cannot decide which one to do. Dan kita akan buat apa-apa lah. First, have a signal in both directions. So to eliminate that, kita akan gunakan idle return the overlap one. Kalau you gunakan electromagnetic, you can use a reed sensor. Like chemical kita gunakan roller, reed is more like a sensor lah, which can give electrical output or pneumatic output, depends on you. And you have a electrical proximity switch. Ini untuk electropneumatic. You have a pneumatic signal generator. So one condition is met, your valve akan hantar another signal, pneumatic signal. And also. Okay. Ini adalah roller switch. I supposed to show you all in the lab macam mana the actual roller switch. Tapi before that, case COVID bertambah, kita tak sempat buat lah the actual physical pneumatic system. Tapi roller switch macam ni. So, cylinder extend, dia akan kena dekat roller. So roller ni dia akan turun ke bawah. Okay. Yang ni dia lock, dia akan turun ke bawah, dia akan kena dekat switch ni. Dan switch ni akan on. That is how a roller function lah. It's connected to a 3/2 direction control. Then ini adalah roller switch with idle return. Kita tengok function dia. So it's only accepting either forward or return. Sebab tu waktu you choose your roller, idle roller, you boleh tengok dekat bawah tu ada arrow. So arrow tu nak tunjuk you nak check forward ataupun return. Okay, so this will be used for signal elimination. Ya, ataupun kita signal overlap is a condition. Meaning there's a two side receiving input. Signal elimination is a process untuk clear signal overlap. So boleh tengok dekat sini. So if a cylinder is moving from the opposite direction, yang ni akan on ke tak? Okay, so okay. So let's say you have a cylinder here. The cylinder tu extend. So kalau dia extend, yang ni dia akan tekan ke bawah ke tak? If your cylinder is extending from this side.
Tak.
Dia tak. Dia extend, yang ni dia akan pergi ke belakang. Tapi dia takkan tekan button ni. Kan? Tapi kalau you ada satu cylinder dekat sini, dia forward. Yang ni dia tak boleh bergerak, dia akan tekan yang ni. So meaning is you can use the idle return to only check, detect one motion. So at one time. So you boleh eliminate the overlap lah, signal overlap. Gunakan signal elimination way. Gunakan roller. So this is the common way of signal elimination. Yes, I think dalam lab pun you dah tengok lah macam mana dia boleh eliminate. I think last week pun ada one of your friends tanya, so what's the actual function of this idle roller? So it's actually to eliminate the overlap. Okay, so boleh tengok dekat sini. I think you are familiar with this lah. Sebab I think you dah buat dekat lab, so you can understand better. So you tekan forward, your cylinder akan extend. So initially this will be S1 akan on. Then dia cuma detect the end position lah. Sebab dekat end of the cylinder dia ada magnet, ada besi. Yang ni dia mostly akan ada magnet dalam ni. So that's why it only detect the end position. So kalau your cylinder is already retracted, so S1 akan on lah sebab yang besi ni dekat dengan magnet dalam switch ni. Then when it extend, so walaupun dia boleh detect bahagian ni, tapi bahagian ni tak ada besi. So it will off. Until it reach here, S2 akan on. S2 on, yang ni dia akan on, then return balik. Okay. So you are detecting gunakan limit switch. Kita tak panggil dekat sini distance rule lah. It's only in the simulator. But normally, yang ni kita akan panggil as limit switch 1, S1, limit switch S2. Tapi kita boleh panggil jugalah roller S1, roller S2. As long kita boleh faham lah. Okay, so you have a pressure sequence valve. Okay, pressure sequence valve, what it does? So macam ni circuit. Okay, so you tekan push button. Tekan push button, it will send signal here. Okay, then it will change here, your cylinder akan extend. Extend, kena dekat 1S3, limit switch. 1S3, I think yang ni lah supposed to be yang ni, sebab ruler kan. Okay, so dia akan hantar signal. Masuk dekat sini, so you have a pressure sequence valve. Dia akan tunggu until pressure jadi 4 bar. Nah, baru dia hantar signal dekat your 3/2 valve dan it will send signal. Dia macam time delay juga. Tapi yang ni dia more macam dia check on the pressure lah. Okay, so boleh tengok dekat application ni. Itu yang dia minta. The double acting cylinder is used to press together glued component. Estimation pressure is around 4 bar. Apa yang dia buat? Sampai sebab yang ni dia dah extend, dia dah glue kan. So glue normally dia akan ambil masa untuk glue together. So dia ada kat sini. Estimated pressure 4 bar. So what your pressure sequence valve does, it will wait until your pressure reach 4 bar baru dia hantar signal dekat sini. Until kalau dia masih 2 bar dia takkan hantar signal. Dia takkan extend lagi, retract lagi lah. It will wait until 4 bar. Ni will start lah. Jadi dah start. Retract. Supposed to be retract. Dia extend it. Yang dia dah kena or before lah. Before it retract. Okay, so time delay. So you can introduce time delay, so you are familiar with this also. A time delay of 6 seconds. Okay, so it depends on the application. So you baca dulu apa yang dia nak. Okay, so once the fully advanced position is reached, the cylinder is to remain for 9 seconds. So dia dah fully extend, ditunggu 6 second, baru dia retract balik. Boleh juga. So, boleh tengok dekat sini. So you have a push button and this is always on. Sebab tu dia ada gambar macam dinding dekat sini. The meaning it is on. Kalau tak ada dinding macam ni, meaning is off. Sebab tu dekat sini is on the left hand side. Dekat sini on the right hand side. So kalau you lukis ada contact, pastikan you lukis sebelah kiri. Jangan you buat connection dekat sebelah kanan. Ini is already wrong. So end valve, push button and roller on, you send signal, cylinder akan extend. Okay, so 1S3 fully extend, 1S3 on, yang ni akan on. So dia akan hantar ke time delay. So time delay ada 3 component. Apa ni? Siapa tahu? Anyone?
Isn't that a timer? Sorry, timer pula.
So
Bukan
this
ni.
whole thing is a timer. Ada 3 komponen dalam ni. So this is one way flow control valve. So this is your accumulator. And this is your 3/2 way valve. Direction control valve. Tiga-tiga ni kena ada. Sebab tu better to put in a quota lah. To show that is a timer. So this timer according to the application akan calculate 6 second. Lepas 6 second baru dia hantar signal dekat sini and this will tukar and it will send signal for it to retract. I hope by now you boleh interpret lah apa yang circuit ni buat. Okay, based on the circuit itself. Okay. Bonding application, bonding meaning joining lah. Joining application. Yang ni pun boleh tengok ada pressure sequence, also ada time delay. So maybe you can have a 2 or 3 time delay in one circuit pun boleh. So depends on apa yang you nak lah. Okay, so tengok macam ni, dia ada pressure sequence as well as time delay. Ada 2. One is for extending, one more is for retracting. I can explain lah a lot. Boleh lukis like this also. Ada input termasuk is cascading and so for me I consider this as a complex circuit lah for construction for your level. Okay, maybe untuk degree this still acceptable. Tapi untuk diploma level we consider this a lot of component yang you kena tahu. Okay, so it's a complex circuit lah in terms of diploma. But possible to be asked like this. Okay, so it depends on the marks lah. Oh, okay, so already finished. Okay, so any question? Ada soalan tak? Okay. Okay, so and at puzzle you have around 6 questions. Ada time lagi hari ni? Ada lagi time until tonight if you haven't finished your at puzzle. So, okay, the first question, so what's the difference between direct and indirect control? Apa boleh bagi tahu?
Does direct control have like direct control is like a direct input. That means if you push the button, it will activate. And indirect indirect input is like the input is automatic.
Input is automatic.
That means when there's a signal, it's activated.
I can out of two marks I can give 1 mark lah because the first one is betul. So you press the push button, your push button valve is directly connected to the cylinder. Okay, so macam so like this. So your push button valve is directly connected to the cylinder. So no intermediate component. So the second answer for indirect, so you have the same thing is connected to an intermediate valve before connecting to your cylinder. So that's why we call it as indirect. So that's the answer lah. So the difference between direct and indirect. For direct is straightly connected to the actuator, and for indirect is having an intermediate component in between or valve. Okay, so what are the functions of 0Z and 0S in pneumatic circuit? Anyone? Yang ni bawah ni 0Z and 0S. Apa boleh?
I think 0Z is supply or compressor, which means compressor connect to. I don't remember that's name, but it's supply from supply. 0S is an emergency button, which means we can manually stop that system when have any emergency.
Yeah. Okay, so I accept the answer. Okay, 0Z is your compressor and your FRL unit, and 0S is a emergency button. Emergency button to stop the whole circuit if anything goes wrong. Ataupun kita dalam your laptop kita panggil dia apa? Hard reset. Hard reset or hard stop. Okay, meaning you are forcing ataupun force stop. So you are forcing something out of nowhere lah. So we call it ataupun in a simple way, this is to stop the whole operation, emergency stop. You boleh begitu. So 0Z is compressor and 0S is a emergency stop. So please draw this first. I always encourage because we are trying to teach you the right way. So kalau dalam industri you tak lukis yang ni, it shows that you don't actually understand how the system works lah. So for them, in the engineers in the company, they will see you like how you can design a system without taking into consideration the emergency aspect. So I always encourage my student to draw this. Tak lukis yang ni before you start your circuit, I minus mark. Okay. Okay, what it means by pilot operated valve? Siapa boleh bagi tahu? Pilot operated valve. Ni soalan semua ni dia quite direct lah, simple je.
Doesn't pilot mean it's auto, not automatic? Dia akan jalan sendiri bila dia simulated.
Yeah. Okay, lah, I can accept the answer. The pilot operated meaning, so it's a valve like this. You don't have a spring, mechanical or push button or whatever lah. So it will have port 12 and port 14. Meaning both side you need to supply a pneumatic input to control. So that is what we call as pilot operated. It can be a single pilot operated juga lah. So one side only you supply a pneumatic, the other side maybe it's a spring. Still I can accept as long you call it a single pilot operated. So double pilot operated meaning ada dua port 14 dengan 12. The both side is pneumatically controlled. Untuk memory valve, you must have both port 12 and port 14. Meaning it's a pneumatic. Okay. Boleh faham? Yes. So what it means by memory valve? Boleh bagi tahu. Memory valve. Salah pun tak apa. So at least try lah. Memory valve, anyone?
So it's memory valve, like if you like push the button, and then it stays like that until, and then like it retracts back after a certain time.
Okay. So it's correct. Because in memory valve, you have a push button for it to move forward and another push button for it to move backward or return lah. So memory valve, you tekan push button and your push button return back. Okay, when you press the push button, cylinder you extend. So cylinder will be in the extended position even though your push button already back to normal. Is already like no more active lah. Cylinder ni still akan extended. Sebab itu kita panggil dia memory. Meaning dia boleh remember lah the last operation. Dia hanya akan retract. It will wait until you press the return button. Until then it will be extended. That's why we call it as a memory valve because it can remember the last instruction given. Even though the instruction no more. Faham tak? I hope you all understand lah. Well, yang tu quite famous question juga. Okay. So what are the stripes beside roller valve symbol? So apa stripe dekat sini? Warna hitam ni. Yang garis-garis ni. What is that? Yang garis-garis ni.
Roller to activated.
So roller is activated. So if you have this symbol, so meaning you have like a garis. Di garis kat tepi ni, meaning your roller ni on. Your roller ni on by by default lah. So yang ni on. So, unless is disconnected. Dia ada satu lagi. Okay, so yang ni. Tengok ada differences. Yang ni dia sebelah kiri. Yang ni sebelah kanan. It's connected to the right hand side. Yang ni sebelah kiri. Why is this side? Because this roller is on. Is touching a surface and it triggers this side. Yang ni dia tak ada simbol macam dinding tu. So it's not contact with the surface. So it's in the normal position, which is unactuated. Okay, so understand? Dia boleh faham?
So just a
Boleh.
question lah. Boleh faham tapi just a question. How do you have the wall thing on the one of the valves?
Valve.
Like
Here,
the S1, yeah. How do you like activate that?
you need to make it normally open.
Closed. Oh, normally open.
Normally open means you have connection lah
Yeah.
to set in the property.
Wait, normally open means like there's always air flowing through it, right?
So
Yeah,
you,
if normally open.
yeah, normally open. Normally
Okay.
open means in pneumatic normally on.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Thank you,
remember
sir.
O and O. Okay, so you just need to set in the new flip sim to have it like that. Okay. The last question: how roller lever limit switch with idle return can eliminate signal overlap? Okay, final question for today. Macam mana roller valve, okay, idle roller, idle return will eliminate signal? I think soalan-soalan ni can be asked in the exam. So you must know how to answer it. Jangan explain in terms of how you are talking, you know. So you need to use all the engineering terms to answer. Okay, so I explain balik yang ni. Okay, so roller lever limit switch with idle return, dia ada macam tangan. Okay, macam ni lah. Like in your fluid sim, dia simbol dia macam ni. Okay, so it only can detect one motion. So kalau your cylinder dekat sini, so your cylinder extend, dia akan kena dekat your roller. So your roller ni dia akan pergi ke belakang. And you won't have any force to push this button. Unless you letak your cylinder dari atas lah, dan dia akan tekan. Tapi kalau you letak dekat tepi, cylinder extend, yang ni cuma akan pergi ke belakang. Dia akan pergi ke belakang, dia return balik. So, meaning the forward motion of the cylinder from the right hand side or left hand side will not be detected. Tapi kalau your cylinder ada dekat sebelah sini, sebelah kanan, and your cylinder return, so it will not go downward. Kalau dia pergi downward pun, dia still akan create a force to press this push button. So roller ni akan on lah kalau your cylinder in the opposite direction. Dekat sebelah kanan. It will push and it will further push this button to on this. So that's how you can eliminate a signal. To eliminate a signal overlap. Okay, by controlling the location of this idle return roller valve in order to detect forward or either one, forward or return motion. Okay, so that's how the lever limit switch with idle return will eliminate the signal. Okay, so boleh faham? Yes, I hope you all can understand lah. Whatever in chapter 4. Because chapter 4 is quite important. Kalau dekat sini, you belajar macam mana nak lukis, macam mana nak buat narrative, macam mana nak relate with your pneumatic circuit, then all this roller, memory bar. Jadi ada banyak question yang boleh ditanya lah dari bahagian ni. Okay. I hope you all can understand. I think at puzzle pun cuma ada 6 question yang tadi tu. I hope you all can complete lah by today. Submit. Okay, so before we end, I think already 11:03. Before we end, is there any question? Okay, tomorrow we will have our lecture, chapter 5. Chapter 5 also a bit important because kita akan belajar cascading and also step counter method in the circuit design. So for exam, sure akan ada soalan circuit design. So you need to understand how cascading way and step counter way works. Okay, so I told you this week kita akan ada quiz 1. So be prepared lah. Friday kita akan buat. Okay, Friday maybe 1 hour, like half an hour lah game kan. So I will give. You just answer and we will settle the quiz. Okay, so tutorial pun I dah upload. So please do. When we don't have lab, then we will discuss on the tutorial question lah. So try to get familiar with the exam kind of question so that you will understand.
Sir, this Friday we have quizzes. This Friday.
Yes, I told last week, right?
Yeah. Just confirming, sir.
Yeah, I think I didn't include quiz in the shadow. The one that I sent yesterday, I will include. I will change it. Okay, so the time we will discuss when will be suitable lah. It won't be in the morning. So normally I will do in the evening lah. Okay, if not, we will find another time. Okay, so 11:05, I think already 5 minutes exceeded. Okay, so thank you so much. We will meet tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.